Sawubona, Linjani, Ligamalami Mutanaka, and today I'm going to show you how I dress up as a Swati lady. Hello and welcome to another DIY. I'm so excited to be making something that's close to my heart. So today I am making Liklabesha, I hope I'm saying it correctly, which is a Eswatini necklace, and it looks like this. There's glare anyway. So this is close to me because my family history, we've been told we are part Eswatini. So my grandfather came to Zimbabwe during the wartime and met my grandma, had kids, so that's what we've been told. So we have never met our grandfather. So if you're out there, I know I've been told not to look, but yeah, so this symbolizes who I am, who we are as a people. Even though we were born and grew up in Zimbabwe, I am part Eswatini and I am partly Swati, so I am attempting to make Eswatini outfit. It has been hard to get everything that I need. This has been the hardest thing, especially I was saying it was very hard to get beads. This is the type of beads that I wanted. So these are, they call them glass beads, size 1.8. So anyway, did not find them. And if you're from Eswatini, I tried to get the material. I couldn't get it, so I ended up doing everything myself, like basically buying fabric and having to, you'll see I struggled. Anyway, hope you enjoy watching. So I'm starting off with my beads and I'm just pouring them in these little cupcake containers, and I already drew my design on a piece of paper, so I kind of know what I'm going for. I've never actually done something like this, so this is my first time that I'm doing a design that's so intricate, and I have to do 2 of them. So that's the 2 little flags that go on the front of the necklace. One thing that I really try to do when I do beading is to be as precise as possible. That's why you see me loading the beads and then I count them again. So I'll just try and fast forward this video so I don't bore you with the detail. But if you want to see how I do my beading, I've got a video that I've done basic beading. Or if you want to know how to do, like how to design your pattern, I'm happy to show you in another video. At this point I decided to check how my pattern was going, and that's what I was going for, and it's coming up really well, so I'm happy with that. And that's me finishing off the first part of the necklace. So I needed 2 of these, and I did the second one off camera. So here is my second one, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck in the little strings that you can see hanging out, and I'll tuck in most of them and leave 2 on each side. That will help me to connect the necklace to each other. So what I like to do is I tuck the string and then I tie it, and I cut the excess string off. So what I'm doing next is I've loaded my beaded loom with this translucent yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and bead the other 2 things that go with the necklace, so the 2 sides, and they will just be plain design, so it's just stripes as in my photo. So it looks like this, just the stripes on both sides. So I need to do 2 of them. So I made 2 of them, and they were 16 centimeters each, and this is me finishing up the first one, and I did the second one off camera, so it's exactly the same method. So here are all my pieces for the necklace, and I'm sticking some of them down so that I know which strings I'm tucking away. So the process that I used was just tucking away all the leftover pieces of yarn, and I left none on the 2 long ones because I had left 2 on each one on my 2
small ones. So I use the small ones to combine the long ones. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but I can't find the video, so I must have not filmed the process. Anyway, here is the necklace put together. So it looks really good, and now all I'm simply doing is making a loop at the end. So I'm just using my yarn and just the blue beads and just making a loop, and I will do the same on the other side, but I'll make the loop on the other side thicker so that it can go into this loop. So that's basically what I'm doing, and that's basically it, the necklace, and I'm pretty happy with it. It looks good. Next, I decided to make a headband, and I had to get more beads, and as I mentioned, I couldn't find these beads, so it was really hard to get these beads. And so for my necklace, I used this rope, my beading needle, and I use size 10 to 13, my seed beads, so I have 4 colors that I'm using, and my nylon thread. And I'll use this candle, and I'll explain what I'm doing with the candle. So after threading my yarn, I need to wax my yarn. So I use my candle to wax it to stop something like this. So this actually happened, so funny. So it stops it from tangling, and it also stops it from winding up. Then the roping method is quite simple. I just make sure that I put my yarn in my rope, and then I tie a knot, and then I wrap my yarn a couple of times around the rope, and then I put another knot on it. And so that's how I first secure this. This is really not the ideal rope. We are in lockdown and I couldn't find the right rope. The right one would be the nylon one, which you can bend off at the ends. This one is more cotton, and so it's hard to bend off at the end. So the process that I'm doing is I'm just putting 20 beads at a time. So I'm putting 60 beads. So I did it 3 times. And it's pretty simple. Like, all you need to do is load your beads onto your yarn, and then I just use the holding and twisting method, and that's just basically it. And then I just put my needle through and out to the center, and then back through the first bead, and then I repeat the process. So I'm just doing a simple design for now because this is my first attempt, and after this I might do a few more or robe headbands, but this is my first time doing this, so I'm just going for a pretty simple design, and hopefully it will come out looking nice. At this point I was coming up to the center of this band, and so I just decided to mirror exactly the same style that I did on the right side to the left, so I won't really bore you with showing all the details. I'll just fast forward and come out with the finished product. So this is it. I'm finishing it off, and as I mentioned before, it's better to get a rope that you can burn off. If I had that rope that's like nylon, not cotton, you could just burn off these ends and then just neaten them. But because this is more cotton, that's all I had in my house, I had to just try and cover it as much as I can. And then I just decided to use thick black yarn, and I just wrapped it in. So I used my needle to put it in, and then I wrapped it around a couple of times once it was in, and then I started twisting, just as you twist your hair. I started twisting, and then at the end of the twist I just tied it, and I did it on both sides. So all done. This is what my headband looks like. It's pretty simple. I just went for a simple style, a simple design. Now the fun begins. So I'm working on my Emma here, or lihia, which is the fabric that is worn by the woman. I saw a few photos of these fabrics and they're so beautiful. I actually tried to buy one so I could make my Swazi outfit look nice, but I could not find it anywhere, so I decided to just make it myself. And so I really wanted it to be blue, but then it didn't turn out that way. I started off strong, so I chose my design to be this Nguni shield, and I really wanted my design to be of this shield, so I painted using fabric paint my shields onto the fabric. And so I did the first shield, completed this first shield. Would like to eat my lunch, and then when I came back, the first one dry, and so the disaster began.
So I'm back again with my Emma here, and I do not post things when I am not satisfied. Like I am not satisfied with what I've done so far. So this is the situation. This is my blue fabric which I had painted, and as you can see, the white paint was not getting into the fabric well. There's like spots and patches, and you can clearly see the blue. So I've decided to just scrap this because I don't want to do something that's half nice. The back of the fabric apparently looks nice, but you can still see it's quite patchy, and I don't really like working with things that are patchy. That's not who I am, and out of respect for Eswatini people, Swati people. I want to do right by them, and I've actually done a lot of research, guys. Like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to know a bit more about Eswatini, the people, the food, the culture. Also, because I mentioned that's part of who I am. One day, hopefully, I'll be able to travel to Eswatini and see the place myself. So for now, I have decided to just start afresh. I really wanted my Emma hair to be blue, but because it didn't really work out, I've gone for a lighter fabric, and so I'm going to start afresh with yellow. So this is the fabric of choice. It's still the same fabric that I'm using. I'm using a light fabric because the Emma hairs that people wear are not heavy material. I mean, if I had gone for a heavy material, it would have been much better, but I decided to go for a light fabric because I wanted to be as real as possible. So join with me as I try and fix my Eswatini outfit. Stay tuned, and if you enjoy this, just give it a thumbs up, comment, like. If you're from Eswatini, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, please don't come at me, don't bash me. I really love your culture. I really love the people. I have a few friends from Eswatini, and I purposely didn't ask them because I didn't want to. Anyway, it'll be a surprise for them anyway. They'll be watching. So thank you. Enjoy.
So the same way I did with the blue fabric, I started off by measuring my ends where I'm going to do a design, and I decided to do a zigzag design this time. And then I will still go in with my shields in the middle, but I'm going to do it differently this time because I don't want to have problems with the white paint. So just hang around while I paint my ends. Yay, all done. So I finished painting the edges and I left it for a bit to dry, so I'm not taking something that's really wet. I left it there for about an hour or two, and then now what I've done is I've put it out to hang, and it is very cold. I don't know when it will actually dry completely. So while my fabric is drying, I've decided to work on this shield. So that's my shield, original shield pattern that I made a while ago. I'm just trimming it so it's a bit smaller, and I'm going to use my fabric markers, my fabric paint, and my brushes. And I have this white fabric, which is very light cotton fabric, and I've decided to paint the shields on this white fabric, and then I will use some adhesive to stick it onto my original fabric. Now stay with me, I know this looks dumb, but it actually works. If you have watched some of the videos that I've been doing lately, I've been putting some African fabric onto my hooded sweatshirts, and it has worked well for me. So I'm just going to use the same method, and I'm going to attach these white fabrics onto my Emma here, and hopefully it will come out looking really well. When I started painting, I could already see that this looks much better. The white is pronounced, you can see it clearly, and the black just goes into the fabric really well. So I was glad that I actually decided to do it this way. At least there's no patches. So as soon as I finish, I just put it out to hang. And I move on to the next shield. So I ended up using 3 of these shields, but I always like to make extras. So I never do, whenever I do my craft, I never make the exact same number of things that I need. Like for example, if I need 3 of these, I never just make 3. I always make spares, because you never know, once you start putting everything together, things happen. So I made 8 of them, and I only used, I think, 3 or 4 in the final. And I know the leftovers, I will use them in something else later on in my life. So I always make spares.
Good morning, it's the next day and I've just set up my iron here, and I'm about to go out and get the stuff that I made yesterday. My face is still like, I just took a shower and I came, I haven't even eaten anything.
I start off by removing all the water that's in my iron, because I don't want any of the paint to smudge, because if there's water it ends up smudging. So once the paint is ironed, it sets onto the fabric. And once I'm finished ironing all my shields, I'm going to just give them a quick wash, and then I'm going to hang them out again. This is also because my yellow fabric is not dry, and so I don't know, for some reason it's taken forever to dry. So I might as well just wash this and set the paint. So I finished washing and I quickly rinsed it with just plain water, and then I put it back on the line.
Hello, so my fabric is finally dry after 3 days. So it's been raining and it's been cold, so it has taken this long for the fabric to dry, but this is what it looks like. So I'm going to go in now and put my other design, which is that, the shields.
So I just used baking paper to press the black onto the fabric. I just didn't want it to smudge and stay on my iron. And then once I was done, I just marked out with my pen where I wanted my designs to go. And then this next part, I'm using this, which is heat and bond, and I'm using the ultra hold, which you don't need to sew once you've used it. So it's an adhesive, and I've used it in my other videos. If you want to know a bit more about this, you can click on here. This is another video that I've done with using this heat and bond. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm just cutting out the instructions, and I'll just put them on the side. So that's the little paper with the instructions, and then I'll just go ahead and stick my shields directly onto my heat and bond. And it's just as easy as holding the iron on for 2 seconds. So just 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then I move my iron around, and I do the same for the other 3 shields. Once that's done, I simply take my scissors and I cut out the shield shape. So I just cut around the shape of the shield. And then it says peel off the paper, so what's left is a sticky residue on my shield. So I'm peeling off the paper, and then I take my fabric, and it says press on the shield or whatever fabric you want to adhere, press it on for 6 seconds. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just holding it on for 6 seconds. 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I do it for the other 2 shields. So all done, this is the final look, and now I'm going to move to the last thing that I'm going to make. I'm going to work on my thing that goes on my shoulder. I can't really seem to find the name of what this is, but it's normally, I think it's an animal fur that hangs on the right side of a married woman. So I'm married, even though I'm not wearing my wedding ring. That's another story for another day. I'm going to use this weave that I have that I'm not going to use. So I am going to use, oh, is that going to be too short? Hopefully not. Maybe just 1 or 2 wefts of that, and I'm going to keep the rest for other DIYs. And so I'm going to use this ribbon. It's just a regular ribbon that I use to hold it together. So this is what it looks like. Hi guys, so I'm finished. Dressing up by myself was a bit hard, but I managed to finish. I got help to put this because I couldn't do it at the back. So this is my full Eswatini outfit. So if you want to see how I made this, stay tuned, watch the whole thing. So this is my outfit, and I'll just explain what I'm wearing. So on the bottom, you can see the little blue fabric that's peeking out. That's my sidvashi, and I used my blue fabric, and the yellow fabric is my lihia. You also saw how I painted on it and made it. It looks really nice. I'm quite happy with it. And then I have my goat fur and my likabesha, my necklace, which I'm very satisfied with, and then my headband. So that's my full outfit. If you're from Eswatini, let me know how I went. I really like doing these costumes and outfits, and I really like your attire. It's so beautiful. The women are so beautiful when they're wearing it, and I love it. So Eswatini women are the real deal because they carry a shield. So this is my shield.